Yeah, the Anthony Davis trade happened, but it left the Lakers with 6 people on their roster, with their cap space most likely being $23 or $27 million. The Lakers are going to need to fill out their roster with players that are not the max. But the question is, with who? What is up, dudes, dudettes, ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. If you didn't see my video on the Anthony Davis trade, I pretty much talk about everything in the trade and the potential dynasty and huge risks there are with the trade, so you might want to check that one out. I mentioned the Lakers roster in that one, and I'm gonna use the same joke. The Lakers legit have only 5 signed players on their roster. Yeah, as of right now, it's looking like the GOAT, Isaac Bonga, is going to be their starting point guard and lead them to a champion. Isaac Bonga is definitely not a championship starting point guard. Because the Lakers probably won't have cap space for a max free agent, and assuming that free agent doesn't give them a discount, these 5 free agents should be signed together with the limited cap space they have to give them the right depth. So let's just get into it. And to the 83% that watch my videos that still aren't subscribed, come on man, just don't leave me hanging. Please subscribe! These 5 free agents can be signed for a total of $23.7 million plus using the mid-level exception of approximately $5 million to sign over the cap along with veteran minimums. Before we get to the 5 free agents, I think it's important to understand what LeBron and Anthony Davis actually need. It's interesting that with LeBron James led teams, you usually need floor spacing and shooters all around with the big men that can rebound and protect the rim. Looking at the lineups that have been the most effective in LeBron's career, especially come playoffs time, there have always been a minimum of 3 shooters. This lineup in 2014 was especially effective with Bron, Wade, Ray Allen, Mario Chalmers, and Bosh, in which Allen, Bosh, and Chalmers were the shooters. Bosh also was a great rebounder and a decent interior defender, but the Heat also got Chris Anderson or Birdman for that exact reason to bolster their interior presence. This was the most effective Cavs lineup when LeBron was there in 2016 with LeBron, Love, Irving, Thompson, and J.R. Smith. You know, before J.R. did this. Shoot the ball! In those years, 3-point shooters typically didn't have the diverse skill set that they do now. 3-point shooting was going up in those years with the Warriors paving the way, so now there are way more 3-and-D guys, 3-point shooting big men, and 3-point shooters that just have more than 3-point shooting. While he was the main man on the Pelicans, Anthony Davis really hasn't gotten a team built around him that was suited for his strengths, so there's not exactly a clear-cut formula with Davis. Yet, there are some things that are clear. For one, Anthony Davis doesn't typically dribble into his spots. He usually gets a pass into the spot he wants. Last season, 87.5% of his shots came after 2 dribbles or less. In 2017-2018, it was 90%. Also in the 2017-2018 season, the Pelicans had a 48-34 record, their best record since Anthony Davis has been on a team. That team, along with Boogie who got injured, had AD playing more of his natural position at the 4 instead of center, and had 2 playmakers, Rondo and Drew Holiday. Rondo and Davis had great chemistry on pick and rolls and also gave Davis the ball in scoring positions. The most important thing for Davis is that he can get fed the ball in his favorable spots, and that allows him to be at his most effective. The great thing about this pairing is that LeBron can be that playmaker for AD, and AD is another shooter plus rim protecting rebounder LeBron likes to have. Both need 3-and-D guys, but also 3-and-D guards, since LeBron, AD, and Kuzma are technically all forwards. They also need some veteran leadership for a championship run. So considering all of this, let's get into the free agents. The first one on my list is the point guard Patrick Beverley. I think this is by far the best fit. We all know him for his defense, his pesky, annoying, tough defense. I mean, shoot, he bothered Kevin Durant, and Durant is a whole 10 feet taller than Beverley. Bev's an average playmaker at best. Yes, he can run the offense, but it's not going to be anything special. But what he is underrated in is 3-point shooting. He is a career 38% from 3, and just last season shot 40% from 3 and 41% on catch and shoot threes. He's a spark plug that just gets the team going and does all those little things like setting hard screens, diving for loose balls, and fighting for each possession. He's also able to slow down the opposing team's best guard player, which is so important these days. Heck, he can even guard guys like LeBron and Durant. Definitely not stopping them, but slowing them down in the process. He doesn't have a great shot creating ability either, but with the ball in LeBron's hands for most of the time, you don't need to worry about that. Last year, Beverly earned $5 million as part of his 4-year, $23 million contract. He's definitely earned a little more than that, and with the increase in salary cap, he should definitely get more. I believe that the Lakers could scoop up Patrick Beverly for $8 to $9 million a year. Bev has said that whichever team wants him has to come with the bag, but the Lakers are also going for a championship, plus the sponsorship opportunities in LA will give him more revenue, and he'd be earning more than his current deal. But let's just say it takes $10 million. That gives the Lakers $13.7 million to work with. With that money, the Lakers' next player they need to get is JJ Redick. This to me is absolutely necessary. The Lakers need a knockdown shooter that draws attention to himself and away from LeBron and AD. This shooter has to be really amazing to do that, and there are only a few in the league that you always see a defense throwing themselves at, like Curry, Klay Thompson, Kyle Korver, and JJ Redick. The reason I picked JJ Redick over Kyle Korver is because Kyle Korver would need to be waived by the Jazz, and also because Kyle Korver is 38 years old. He would be more of a defensive liability than JJ Redick. Redick also just averaged 18 points last season, shooting 40% from 3, and at times in his Sixers season was the only shooter on the floor that was above 38% from 3. He can do it all, whether it's coming off screens, moving off ball constantly, making contested shots. Redick also has experience in playing off a big man like Joel Embiid and a playmaker in Ben Simmons. His salary last season was $12.25 million, but in 2017 he signed a 1-year deal to get $23 million when the Sixers wanted to show Redick love and have him stay next year for a normal amount. Let's just say that Redick takes up the rest of the $13.7 million the Lakers have. That fills out their 2 guard spots and gives them 2 shooters that shoot 40% from 3 for the championship run. But remember, that's not all the Lakers can do this offseason. Once they use up all their cap space, the Lakers will have about $5 million with their mid-level exception, and then are left with veteran minimums. That can be enough for 3 players that I think would be really good at specific roles at this price point. But before we get to those 3 players, there are some honorable mentions for free agents that I would consider if the Lakers can't get Beverly or JJ Redick. I would love to think that Brook Lopez, who has made $3 million last season, would sign with the Lakers for $5 million, but the Bucks have said that re-signing Lopez is a priority, and on top of that, he's worth more than $5 million, so it would be hard to steal Brook Lopez away from a championship contending Bucks, even for $10 to $12 million. Darren Collison could be a good point guard for this organization, but I would personally pick Patrick Beverly because he brings more to the table, and if you have Patrick Bev, you probably want a guy like JJ Redick as the knockdown shooter. Bogdan Bogdanovic would also be a great fit, an amazing catch and shoot guy that can create with LeBron or AD, but he would take around $17 million that would take up most of their cap space. Nikola Mirotic was definitely in consideration as well, but when you look at LeBron, who plays the 3 and 4 most of the time, Kyle Kuzma, who plays the 4, and AD, who plays the 4 and 5, Nikola Mirotic would be adding on to a heavy frontcourt lineup, and their immediate needs are to get guards for perimeter play because they are the weakest there. Now, these 3 players that can be signed are RAJON Rondo, Reggie Bullock, and JaVale McGee. Yes, Bullock and McGee that were on the Lakers last season were both on $2.5 million deals and would be great fits. The Lakers need a true center to run alongside Davis, someone who can be effective at helping grab boards and protecting the rim when AD goes to the bench, and at the same time, someone who can prevent AD from getting banged up inside. That is the 7-footer JaVale McGee. This also allows Davis to play his more natural position at the 4. McGee is also an NBA champion, don't forget that, and he has given important minutes in the playoffs to the Warriors. He showed last year that he can actually be consistent and effective, especially alongside LeBron. Not for 33 plus minutes a game, but more for about 25 minutes. He averaged 12 points and 7.5 rebounds with 2 blocks a game in 22.3 minutes being in and out of the starting lineup. He's moved on from being the SHAQTIN of Fool McGee. If you opt for McGee as a starting center, then Kuzma can be the scoring punch off the bench that ends up averaging 30 plus minutes. It's another option, and McGee is definitely interested in re-signing, so you could probably get him for another year of $2.5 million, or if he's really nice, the veterans minimum. Rondo is the secondary playmaker that can come off the bench. He has great chemistry with Anthony Davis and can help put AD in scoring positions when Bron goes to the bench. He averaged 8 assists last season and was actually able to make some threes, shooting 36% from 3. Playoff Rondo is also a real thing, as all of his stats increase in the playoffs, probably because he ends up playing more, but he's reliable in the playoffs. Rondo is also interested in signing with the Lakers, and so even though he had a $9 million contract last year, he would be willing to either take $2.5 million or the veterans minimum for 1 season on a title run in LA. Now, he might be a little bit of a strong voice, but he's still valuable. Reggie Bullock is interesting because he's the one guy that I saw last season love playing with LeBron, and is also a guy that can definitely not create his own shot and would strictly be a 3-and-D guy off the bench to help their wings, as 90% of his threes are a catch and shoot. Before he joined the Lakers, Bullock was shooting 38% from 3, and in the 2018 season he shot 45.5% from 3. Obviously, with the Lakers turmoil and joining mid-season, Bullock was put in a random spot, but at a price of $2.5 million or even the veterans minimum, this is an absolute steal that would add another floor spacer off the bench. He's not a defensive beast or a liability, he's just kinda average, but for this price, you really can't get everything you want, and this shooting would really help the team out. So yeah, a starting lineup of Patrick Beverley, JJ Redick, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and JaVale McGee with Kyle Kuzma, Reggie Bullock, and Rondo coming off the bench, that looks like a championship team to me. And man, would that be exciting to watch. Also, players will be more willing to take less to not only play in LA, but also for a championship run. It's very realistic to think that Redick and Bev might actually take a little less to be with the team, especially with added sponsorships and the effect of playing with LeBron, but either way, the Lakers can sign these 5 guys. It's not some fantasy or miracle like signing Kawhi Leonard or Kyrie Irving. It's a reality that can be their future, and I think that's the way to go. But what do you think? What other free agents should they go after? Can the Lakers win the championship in their first year? Drop a like for teamwork. Yeah, teamwork. Y'all been going crazy with the support. I saw so many comments on Brow King. Man, I know it was cheesy, and so you are the real ones. And if you're still here, comment SHAQTIN McGee so I know you stayed. The Instagram shout of the day goes to Jacob Swim, and the all-day notification shout goes to Christian Blake. Thanks for the all-day support. Make sure to bell for all-day notifications, and if you're not a sub, hit that subscribe button to join the all-day community for more fire content, all-day support. It's your boy MJ. We out.
Just hop in my spaceship now. Okay, just hop in my spaceship now.